This is a video I made after watching a YouTube video where a luthier was explaining how to voice the guitar. And he had held up an unfinished guitar soundboard and was tapping on it with his finger. And he was explaining that basically the soundboard of a guitar is a drum. And it sounded very much like a timpani when he was tapping on it. And he was explaining that the bracing and the thickness and the type of wood all go into making the drum head thicker or thinner or tighter or looser depending on the sound you were going for. So I took all the strings off all of my guitars and I did the same thing, and I thumped on them and I strung them all with similar strings. Well, I should say the classical has nylon. All the other guitars have 1152. The F310S, which is the parlor size guitar, or a little larger than a parlor, I put bronze phosphor on rather than 8020. But those are all elixir strings, and they're all nano coated. The larger Takamine and the Seagull Artist both have 8020 nano web. Another interesting thing about the guitars is their age. The oldest guitar is the classical. It's a 1971. That's 50 years old. The F310S Takamine is a vintage Takamine. It's about 40 years old. It's from 1979, so 41, 42 years old. The Seagull Artist is a 2001 Seagull Artist, so that's about 20 years old. And the Takamine is a 2012. The P7N Takamine is a 2012. So it's the newest guitar. And so each of those guitars is in a different step of the aging process. And as guitars get older, the wood dries more and more, and the sound changes a little bit. And I found that was interesting in this video, I think, to me. So anyways, have a listen and comment and tell me what you think about the different sounds. Thank you very much. Feel free to pause if you want to examine this further. What I got from this is that the new P7N has a very low sustain in the wood, but the older guitars have a much longer sustain from the tapping, more like a drum. Well, there you go. Did you hear any significant differences? Here's what I discovered. Number one, the classical is very boomy. It has a fan bracing. It has a cedar top. It's a very soft top, and the string tension is very low, so it's a very deep, rich voice. And it shows both when you tap on it. It had a very long sustain, and a very rich, full bass frequency response. The Takamine 310S, I think, sounds incredible. It's a small guitar, but it has a very focused bass tone. It's still very quiet compared to the other guitars, but it was a very clear sound. And it also had a pretty good resonance on it. Not as good as the other one. The Seagull Artist, I thought, had resonance almost as good as the classical. And I feel that that's due to the type of wood. I think it's a North American spruce top. It's also very dry because it's 20 years old. And it had just a really full sound. I'm a little bit nervous about this Takamine Pro model that I got, this P7NC. Spent a lot of money on that, and it doesn't sound to me as good as some of the other guitars. Although, having listened to this video again, I did find that it was a very clean sound compared to the others. I'm not a great player, so when you play sloppy, it sounds sloppy. I actually found that the P7 cleaned up some of my playing just by being such a tight guitar. Also, it has built-in pickups, and it really is designed to be played through an amp. And if you play it through an amp, it has a tube in it. It has a little tube in it, and you have a lot of variation. So I really feel that guitar, although it's an acoustic, really should always be played as an electric. But anyways, yeah, it was really interesting for me to do. I hope you found this interesting, and please leave some comments and let me know what you thought. Have a good day.